Hello guys and welcome back to SM Software. So in our previous video, we started our HTML crash course. So we saw much about HTML, how to create a file, how to style. We saw different part of HTML, the element, the tags, all of that. So today we are going to focus on build our first project. So I told you to learn much about HTML so we can focus on create a project. All right. So in this video, we will build we will build our first project. So the first real world project. So we are going to use only HTML and CSS. So step by step, you will create a clean and modern web page layout while learning how to structure content and style elements professionally. So what you learn how to build a simple business website. This could be a simple business website, a portfolio, um, clean layout. So how to design and create a clean layout with the header, main content, a footer. So even include forms or all of that. So how to style all of this using just your plain CSS and HTML. So skills you'll cover in this video: a semantic HTML tags, head, section, footer, more and much more. CSS layout basics, margin, padding, colors, and fonts. So classes. So yesterday we talked about selectors. So today we are going to see how also to select using classes and IG selectors, styling text button, etc., background colors, all of that. So finally, we'll also learn how to create a project folder and structure the content, structure the files or subfolders within a project. All right, my name is Shavan Musamba. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and enable the notification. Let's get started. All right, guys. So to get started, first of all, let's take a look for a funnel project. What we are going to build. All right. So this is the funnel project. You can see that okay, we have just a clean and simple business website here. We got a header section, the menu. So we don't have a many pages. We have to have many pages, but we just going to focus on a single page. So to make things very simple and quick. So if I click on this, it should take me. We scroll back to scroll down to this section here about, and also we got our services, which is just we show the list of service. So we are going to learn the grid, flex box, all of this we are going to include in here. So styling the buttons, all of this, the shadows. So we are going to cover much of this, and they're also going to cover the form. These are popular. So these are common things you must understand. You must know. Do it. You must understand it and you know how to do it with just plain CSS and HTML. So this is what we are going to build. It's very simple, but if you see the layout is very clean. The layout is very clean, and this is actually what is required be for you to understand the HTML and CSS. All right. So what we need to do next, so we just need to go and create a new project and start building. All right, let's get started. All right, guys. So to get started, we can go to our desktop. I'm on Windows, so you can still follow along even on Mac. So we want to create another folder. Create simple web. Simple web. It's okay. So we want to open this with the VS Code. So we can right click and get option here, open with VS Code. So I can open this with VS Code. So here we got is actually nothing. So what we want to do is to create now our index.html file. So we want to create index.html file. So just the way we did before. All right, so make sure that you to name the file with this extension. So the file could be anything, but make sure that the extension is .html. So that we will see this icon here, icon 5. You see that icon 5. Right, so if you are using VS Code, so VS Code has that something called an application called IntelliSense. So if I type here, I just type HTML, you see this option here. So this is a way to speed up. So I can just select this one, and this will generate the HTML. So this is the same thing as we did the previous in our previous video. So, but it's just a couple of things here I want to explain to you. So we got in our previous video, we saw that our HTML or our IntelliSense from VS Code was complaining about the HTML. So we need to specify the length, the language, and then also to specify the character set. Right. So what is it? The language. So the language is just to help define the language, the current language of the location language. So it could be English, English from I don't know, UK English, American English, or any English. So default is English UK. Yeah, and the following one we got also metadata, meta. So this one we need to select. We need to set the character set. So what is it? The character set. Right. So character set, or UTF 8. So it just specifies the character encoding for web page, or document, ensuring that it display the text correctly, including the characters from the different languages and alphabets. So UTF 8 is widely used for standard encoding encode characters, a comprehensive set characters that compass most language used in the world. So let's see if you take this one. So you can copy. I want you to go to a browser. So just press this one, and you'll be able to see this one is generated by AI. So you can see that explanation is just here. So it doesn't matter. So you can go ahead and read this. Okay. So that's it for the meta. So in here, meta, we got so much we can include in here. So you can see that we included the document, the page. We saw about this yesterday in our previous video. Sorry, we saw that we need to specify the page title. So for page title, we can set now the name of our website. Let's say business. Let's say business or simple business. Let's call it something like that. Simple business. All right. So we can put many things here. You can put, let's say, you can also put meta, another meta, let's say for example description. So we can give this simple description, a simple business website template, so we can also put keywords. We can also put things like keywords. So keywords, this is just to help the search engine SEO to find your website, to find the website if it's already on the internet. So we can put the website, we can put the keywords here. We can also put, you see that we just set meta and then I give the name, I said keyword. And you can also set another meta here. We give, for example, auth. So we can give, for example, auth is equal to Shabani Muswamba Kachimbisha, like this. So this could be auth. So we can add much. Let's include. We can also link our style sheet. Let's say, for example, CSS. So CSS, we saw this in our previous videos that we need to create now our CSS here. So that means from here, what now been talking, you can say, okay, let's create another folder here called asset, called assets. So in asset, we can now create now a CSS file. So in asset, we can include here CSS, include JavaScript, include also, if you don't know about JavaScript, doesn't matter. If you know about it, it's fine. So we can include JavaScript, and you can also include the images, all of this. So these are part of the folder structures. So this, as we will include the CSS here. So if I want to access that one, so we need now to check the level. We can do something, for example, dot, to see now, okay, we access now, we go now the first level, and then we access now our file, which is style.css. So we can save that, save this one. So you can see now the structure. We can also link. I told you we talked about. We talked about three way to write CSS. So we can write it inline CSS, internal CSS, which is you can write it here in the head. And then also we have external CSS. External CSS, so that means you can load asset, the CSS from a different file or even from a different website. So if I want to load, for example, CSS from let's say CSS from GitHub, for example, I can just do something like this. Oh yeah, you can see that automatically AI. I'm using AI, yes. So the one I'm using is good for you to can follow along with this one. So the one I'm using, you're gonna go to extensions, application, wind, search for wind surf, like this. This one. So yes, this one. So you find this one and install it. I have it installed already, so you can see that we got like 2 million installed already. So you can go ahead and install this. Right. So you can see that we can link even external CSS, so it doesn't matter. So in this video, we are not going to include the external CSS or load CSS from a different website. So you are just going to focus on plain CSS here. All right. So this is it. If I save this one, we want to open this application, but we are not going to open that yet. What I want to you see that with the AI is helping, is generating the content already, but we don't want to do that. We want to type everything from scratch, since we are learning. So we want to type everything from scratch. So we can do header, we can set header. This is another HTML element, HTML tag, sorry, which call header. So header also, you can see if a cursor hover, you see that the header element represent introductory content for it is nearest. So what mean that, okay, in header, if you go to our website here, you can see this is a header. This is represent the header content. Section. So we can have the logo, the business name, and the navigation menu. So this is what about header. So we got header, and then also we got main. We got main content, sorry, main content, and we got footer, sorry, footer content. So we have header, main content. So for main, if you want to define main, we're just going to say main like this, and the main is there. And for footer, if you want to define footer, just going to say footer, and the footer is there. Okay, so the footer is there. We don't worry about this. You can, if you are using IntelliSense, you are using VS Code, this will can generate automatically, so it doesn't matter. All right. Um, we can close the tag. Close the tag footer like this. Okay, so now you see that we got header, we got main, and also footer. So if we want now to at least structure our website, to see first of all to set the main navigation main and then the content. To do that, you can get a reference from our website. So can decrease the size like this of the screen and also here. Okay. Another thing we can first of all talk about a little bit before start building. I want to show you that this website, you see, this design is very responsive. If you go to small screen, you see how everything looks like in small screen. If you take, let's say, for example, iPad, you see, this is for iPad. You can take, so even the small screen it still looks fine. This is for the smallest screen. All right, so we are going to build all of this from scratch. All right, so we want to start first of all with the menu. So for the menu, we can do we need to wrap everything in a div. Yesterday, in our previous video, we talked about div or division in short, we call div. So we talked about this. So what we want to do here, I want to add business name. Or it's a business name. So going to set business name here. So we can add H1 or heading 1, H1, say simple business like this. And then we will also want to see another HTML tag, which is a navigation menu. Navigation menu, in short, we call it nav. So navigation menu. So if you want to define navigation menu, we just define it like this. So in navigation menu, the rest you can now put. We can decide to put whatever you want to put. So we talked about an ordered list. So to define an ordered list, you say you can do an ordered list like this, and now set the children. So children or list element, we can just say li stand for list like this. So let's say li, you can say, for example, home, and we can also set another one, let's say about, and then also set maybe service, service and services, and maybe set contact like this. Okay, so you can do Control S to save or Command S. Okay, so by default, every browser, if there is no any CSS for any style for navigation menu or the unordered list, everything goes down, like this way. But sometimes you don't want it to appear, you don't want it to go down, you want it to go in line, you want to go horizontally like this. But we will work on that. For now, we just want to save our change. Next, we want to check for many content first. For this one, we can just generate some lorem here, set lorem, and save this. So we want to now to see our website from browser. So to see our website from browser, There is many way you can actually load this website on from the browser so that you can see the change anytime you make change and see it here. Or another way, you can just follow or just load the URL manually from the browser like this. So which way do you like to do? To set automatically load the website or just load it manually. So for now, let's go with the one option. We can go to our desktop. The first option is just our website, and you can try to double click it. It will now load our website online like this on from the browser. So now this is the content we have for this website. Congratulations, and we have just achieved our um, HTML skeleton. So the rest now is now to style the content, add the structure, which type of content we want to add. But this is actually the whole thing about HTML. So this is the like the everything. This is everything we saw in our previous video. Okay, so this is how we're supposed to do the HTML. So the head is supposed to be structured this way, and also the body is supposed also to have this structure. All right, guys, so let's go next and start adding much content and the style. Okay, so next we needed to add much stuff in here. So we need to add the design inside within the main, and then also define design the footer. But first of all, let's fix few things here. So we want to remove this navigation and separate this navigation here. But if you also want, you can keep it this one. You can keep the navigation here, and but what we do is we just want to create another div here, and here we want to add a logo here. So yeah, in our previous video we saw how to load the logo. So we can do something like just set image. So I don't want to do that. I want to type it so that you can see. So I can do img and then just close. Can do imd, just close like this. So we need to add source. So for the source we can go to, we can do dot to go the level up, and then asset is this folder. Let's go this folder. So we go to this folder, and here we look. Let's say in folder we can look for something. A folder called image. Image like this, and then in the image we can find the logo dot png. So we don't have folder called we don't have this folder in asset, so we can create this folder. If you go back inside, make sure it's inside here. So we need to create this folder image, and but we don't have the file. We don't have this file. We don't have this image yet. All right. So I don't want to put the image. I just want to leave it like this without image so that you can see the error we will get. But you see this image still complaining. It will require some couple of things here. If I remove this, so I want to show you how also what happen if you use the IntelliSense. So you can do img. Yeah. So you see that you can still get the same thing if you use the IntelliSense. So we're just going to add image IntelliSense or this AI thing, AI application. So you see that you can still get the same thing, access our image, our assets folder and image folder, and also access the logo. So if the image is not there, we're supposed to show something like image is not there. But for now, we don't want to do anything. We just want to leave it like that. But I want to explain, I want to show you something that is this one called, this is a attribute define an alternative text description of the image. So if there is no image, we can actually describe that, okay, this is supposed to be something let's say it's supposed to be a logo. So we can do a logo like this. So if there is no image, okay, this here is supposed to be a logo, but there is no image. This is what this one stands for. All right. This is it for now. We will get back to the header to add much stuff. So we need to add links. But before we even move further, so we can go back here. We talked about linking, or about anchor tag, or creating a link. So we know that to create a link, we can use a, which represent anchor tag, and then we just going to add. We can open tag, and then add the URL, or fragment that the hyperlink point to. So we can add link, but for now we are not linking to anything. We are not linking to anything. We are just linking to our home page. If there is no link, is it recommended to put hash? If you don't have any link, you don't have any link to point to, just put hash. So this is what we are doing here. So just put hash. So we can do the same thing for about, and also for service. I can do the same thing for the service, and then do the same thing for contact. So if I save this, and we go back to our browser, our application, this is what we get. So this, now we see that okay, we don't have an image. So this shows that, okay, here is supposed to be a logo, and we got our business name. And now you see that since we don't have link, if I click here, it's just linking or loading this home page, showing this home page here. And also can change here, show the service. All right. Next, if we go back to our application, what we want to do next is in our business, since we want to design our application, we want to design our website or application to be like this one exactly. So we see what we have here, that we'll have header, which we have already set, and then we also will have the body. We have this section here, which actually is showing the banner, welcome message, and the banner. So to do this, we can go back to here from our main section. We need now to define a couple of things here. Main section, we can put a welcome section. So we, in our previous video, we saw about section. So to define a section, so we just define it this way. Just say section. There's nothing special with section. You can also use a div, doesn't matter. So section, there's nothing special with section. So to create a section, so just define, just open tag a section and close it. Section and close that tag. So you see that this is what we have. Another thing we want to talk about is selector, CSS selector, which we saw in our previous video, that we got selectors which we use to select the element for which we use to select an HTML element, so that we can install it, or we can also add JavaScript, things like that. So with selectors, we have this. You can put an ID like this one, or you can also put class. You can also define class. So how you define class? You just create something. Just put an attribute called class is equal to, and open quote. This could be a single quote or double quote, and put a name of the class. So this is the name of the class. We give it hero, and here an ID is equal to home. All right. So for here now, we're just going to show welcome message, and also this is a paragraph. That's it. This is one section. we can call this one, we can call this hero section. Sorry, hero section. So we can also have another section here. It could be about section. um about section. So for about section, we can also I use AI here to generate this content. Uh, so this is generated by AI, so it doesn't matter because we already know about everything here, so it doesn't matter. All right, so here now we got another section which is about section. So we add also an ID of about, and we just pass heading 1, heading 2, which is about us, and we give paragraph which is p with about us. Another section is also service. So for this one, we will use grid. Don't worry about this, but this is just to show you a couple of how many sections we have in the main section, the main tag. So this is it. If I save this one, I can just save this, and we go back to our browser here. This is our application, and if I reload, this is what we got here. There's nothing special so far. So, but we can we can decide to add some stars if you want. We can add some stars. Another another tag we also want to talk about is the form. So for form, we can add in the contact. So this is a contact. We can say form for contact. So for form, to define form for HTML, so just create form. And okay, what is form? This is form. So if you talk about form, this is form. This is a contact form. So where users can put name, email address, message, all of this content, and send. So this is just to receive the inputs, users input. So form is used for users input. Right. So here we just, to define form, you just set open tag form, and we can now add action. For form now require action. So action, we can see we can add action. So action, what is action? Actually, action now, the form, if you have a form contact, if you have a form input in our website, mostly there is form input. For example, this one. So there is an action which we have here. We could be send message. Mostly is send message. So now the action should be post. So you need to post the message. So there is also there is many action which you can also update contact. So that means we have a message here. You can update. So we have many type of actions, but in this particular way, we just want to talk about one, which is action is equal to post. But um, since we don't have any link where we're supposed to post our content, we can just replace this with hash, the way we talk, or the way you saw earlier about anchor tag. If you don't have link, you can just set hash. So you can add hash, and now form require method. Now that is now the action we're talking about. Method, what do you want to do? I want to post or I want to update. So the method here is equal to post. Method is equal to post in a capital like that. So all right, now for form, after you define form, so we for form now got children. So for children, we got input. So for input, you can say Let's give a label for input. We are going to take just a simple way. So for children, we got a label. Label, let's say, for example, a name. We give a name, and this is going to be a name. And also the input now, which is also going to be input is type is equal to text. So the input also, you got different input types. So we got text, we got type of email, we got type of phone number or phone. We got type of number. So we got many different types. So for this input here, the type is equal to text because we want to use that to type a text. And also we give it ID. We give it an ID. So we talk about ID. ID is a selector. So we can use this selector to target this element. So we can target with the CSS or target with the JavaScript. So it doesn't matter. So we can use it to target. And also we give you a name. So the name also is to help the browser and understand what is this input about, and also is to capture the inputs here. Because now if you want to use now this form, you want to get now the data from this form. So we have the kind of things we need to, we need now to select or to get the data by name. So we get, for example, we get a name, um, but we will talk about that later. So next we have also if this input is required. So if this input is required, so that means if there's nothing in it or if the input is empty, so it should throw an error. So user will not be able to submit this form data. So this was it for the first one, which is the name. So the second one, we can also put email, and we're going to repeat the same thing, and also you're going to have message repeat the same thing. But lastly, before the submit button, we have this input type is equal to text. So if you go back to our browser, you see that okay, the text area, so this is where is kind of wide, the wide one, and user can type multiple lines in this input area. So this is it there. So you can define input is equal to a type text area, and text area. So you can, there's many things you can do in here. You can select, for example, rows, how many rows you want to show. You can select, for example, also columns, stuff like that. But for just a simplicity, we can keep it this way. You don't need to put the rows or columns. So I can just save that. But before uh, close this or start testing, we can check about the button. So we got button. Button. Let's have a look at button. So this is the button. So button, this is now the one is used to send the data. So once you click it, you send the data, submit the data. So for button now, it's also got a different type. So we got the default type is submit. So if it's submit, so that means this form, it has to follow the action here, the link you put in here. So if the type here is equal to submit, so the input, and here you have put a link, for example, you put this link, https example.com/contact. So that means once user click on this, user will be redirected to that link. So user will go to that link with the data. So we can try this one later, but for now we can just make sure to do Control S to save the data. All right, so we can go back to our browser and our application and try to reload it. This is what we get. So this is the input, and here we got the text area. So I can try to fill in some data. I can put email and then put the test message. And if I try to submit, so this will redirect me to that example.com/text. Yes. So you see now this is example.com/text. This website is usually used for testing, so it doesn't exist actually. Right. So, but you can see that we follow the action was submit. So we actually follow that link to go and submit the data. All right. So this is it. We will talk also. We will talk about CSS, about grid later. So where we will show our service here, grid and add styling, animation, all of that. But for now, we want to now to go to the next step, which is now style now our HTML. All right, guys, let's go and do that. All right. So next, we want to add some style. Want to add some style. The first thing we want to do here, can add comment. So let's reset. We want to reset browser. Reset browser. Sorry, browser default. Okay, we want to reset because I told you in our previous video that the browser has got default style for every web page, every HTML. So to reset that, so we can do select everything. Select, do star, and then open and close curly bracket, and then we want to set margin to 0, and then also padding to 0, and box sizing to a box. So we want to remove all the default style from a browser, but for now is some styling we just try to keep it like that, so to help you go fast. So we want to target the HTML base font size. So we also got the font base font styles and smooth scrolling. So we can do, for example, um, uh, no, we can do HTML, and then we also target the body. Target the body. So we select the HTML and the body. So open and close the curly bracket. So what we want to do, we can do height to 100% to make sure we set height. We set height, let's say height to 100%. If you want to the web page to be in a full window, 100%, and then also wide maybe 100%. So we can set also the font family. So we talked about font family and font size. So if you want to put the size of the font size, you can do this, or you can also do, but for now, we don't want to touch that. We can leave that for now. We will talk about font later. We can also put scroll behavior. So how fast you want it to scroll, we can set to smooth. So we don't want it to go very fast. So save that. Okay, if I save that, we don't have anything else. You can save that, and if you go back to our browser here, try to reload our website. This is what we get now. So okay, we can now try to now start styling, or start adding now the style for every single thing. We also got the things to correct first, but first of all, we can target the header. We can select or style our head, this one, our header section, where we got the logo, we got the name, and navigation menu. Right. To do that, we can go back to our VS Code here. So we can target the header. target header. Okay, like that. So for head, we can do header. So we take this. I don't want to use that. So I don't want to take auto generator since we want to explain everything. So we want to set the background color. We talked about background color. So we want to set the background color. So for background color, we can also use this to select the color here, or you can type the name of color. Let's just select a background color to something like blue. So we can do this way, or you can also just select here blue this way. Is still okay. You can also select the color from here. It's fine. So the color, and that's the background color. So you can set the color to white, and also you can set the padding for that to. So the padding, let's talk about the padding a little bit. So the padding, if you talk about the padding, you go back to our application here. So we have padding within the inside the element. So inside the element, so the space we want to give inside here within the element. So we can see we got space here, top and right and bottom. So if now we want to do the padding here, we can do we want to give the space between top and bottom. That's the first one, top and bottom. So the second one is now going to be left and right, left and right. So we can limit here for now. So I'll explain to you if you want to go left, and you want to go left and then also target the right separately. But here we're just targeting the first one is top and bottom, and the other one is left and right. Okay, we can also set margin. Margin does the same thing, but the thing is margin cut the space. Is cutting instead of instead of giving much space, but it just forced element. So we can do margin. We can do margin to auto. So we want to resize it automatically. Automatically, we don't want to do anything there. Okay, so if you save that, we can save that, and we'll see. If you go back to our browser to see what we have so far, now this is what we have. So we have set the color, but we have a space. We have the space like this. So we can also work on adding much more space. This depends. But we don't want to handle everything in here. Instead we want to wrap this in another container, in another div. So this just help us to separate the class. So we don't want to put everything in the one element. So what we can do here is go back to the header. This is the header. We can actually wrap the header here. We can wrap this in another class. We can wrap in another separate. We can separate in another div or a section. So let's put everything in a section. We already have a section here, but we can wrap in a section. We can put a class called container. So class, this is just a selector which will help us to style this. So we can select this and give a style here. So we give it class to a container, but you can also give another. So for class, how it works is that you can add many classes, many as you want. For example, we add a class called container, a name called container. We also add another one called header container. Right? So for this one, this is where is the logo. So we can also give a class here. Let's say, for example, logo container. So when we are going to add CSS, when we want to style this particular area, so we will select it. So we just select this and add style. So for we can also add the style here, or you can resize it directly from here, where you can set wide, like 100%, and then set also height and 100%. But what we like to do is, since we want to set the major carry, we want to play with we want to make sure that it is responsive to set different size according to the screen size. So we can add a class. We can add a class here. Say class logo. So we also add a class logo. So we know that if you go to the CSS, to our CSS, we will target this class. Okay, so we want to start this one first, and we can also continue with the rest of the things. So to start this, make sure to save. To save. So we can go back and target now these classes. So how do you target now the classes, the container? How do you target the classes or select the class? So to select the class, if is a class, sorry, if it's class, you can just do dot and then the class name. For example, here AI is suggesting us to select. So we select, we just do dot and the class name. So in this case, we target a class called container. That's the name in here. So we take the container, we open the curly bracket, and we give the name. We give the style. So the way you do the style, we set the max wide, we set to 100, sorry, 1200 pixel. And then also you set margin to auto, and then padding to top and bottom to 0, and then we set also left and right to 20. So if I save this, only that one, if I go back, just want to show you the example, and this is what we have here. But if I reload, you'll see now what you get. So now you see we have added the padding this side and this side. So this is the left and this is the right. So this is the top, still 0, and the top here is still 0. Right. So we are going to select much of them. So don't worry, we are going to do everything. We are going to select all of this. Select using class name and also using the ID. All right. See you in the next video. All right, guys. So let's talk about reusable class. So we can add comment here. Reusable classes. So reusable class is something can reuse. For example, if you go in our HTML here, so we can reuse it here. For example, in a header, we can use it in the header, and within also this section, you can reuse. So anywhere you can reuse this class. So we want to make sure that this container class can be reusable. Why you want to use it? We want to make sure it's reusable because we want to, for example, if you go to our application here, you see this is actually the same wide. This is the same wide header where is the content starting and the ending, and also is the same size. So we want to have this the same layout. Like this. So to achieve this one, we must make sure that we are using the same class, the same class, the container for this one, the header menu, logo, and application name. So it's going to be the same here, and it's going to be the same here. All right. So to do that, we can go back to here. Since we have reg container, we instead to have a wide, sorry, set to have wide 100% or full wide. 100%, we can set, we can give it wide maybe 99%, 90%, 90%. So this one, we can now use this one there. So we can now, if you go, let's see, if you go back to our application, this is the one. If you reload this, okay, This one is still here, but we also want this content to be to have the same line, to stay in the same line as this, where the this content is starting. So we start from. So to do that, we can go to main. To main, we want to make some change here. So hero section, since we want to use that, so we can remove hero section, remove hero section, and put it outside because we want to separate it, the hero section with this. So we can do this way. We can add a class here, container. If you save that, that's one way you can do it. If save that in reload, now this content is now in the middle, you see. But footer, you see that the footer is still separated because we don't want footer to be there. If you want, we can also add we can now go to footer here and also add a class, or you can wrap this in another class. Wrap this. So another way to select to generate a div, you can do dot and then just give a class name. Let's say container. I can't even type properly. Okay, container, and then just put like this. So this is going to generate the same thing. So we don't want to follow that for now. So if I go back and reload, so our footer also got the same class container. So this depends on if you want to do that. Okay, so this was just a point and some restructure to help you structure your the classes. And also another point I didn't mention, and I want to explain. I want to tell you that I want to give you some difference between ID and the class. So if this section, let's take this the section example. Any HTML element. So ID is unique. You cannot put two IDs to the same element. No, there's only one ID per element. But you could have different classes, many classes within. You can have many classes to from a different as the same element. For example, here the element section, we can have a class of hero. We can have another class. Let's say, for example, container. You can have another class. Let's say, for example, a hero container. So we can have many classes. Doesn't matter. But for ID, just one. So that's the point. Okay. What else do you have to style here? We can go. Let's see. We can also style. First of all, we can style the hero section. We don't have image yet. We will work on image, styling image and add image. We will work on that. So let's style image hero section. For hero section, we can style hero section. Hero section. Okay. Just to make it looks nicer and to just add comment. We're just adding comment to explain what we have. So this is a hero section. Okay, for hero section, I don't want to leave this because this course or this video is about CSS and the HTML. So we want to explain. We don't want to AI to generate the content, the styling or the HTML. So we want to understand what is it about. So we want to make sure that the position is a relative. Position is equal to relative. Right? Set position to relative, and we also want to set the background. So we have seen background color, but we can also have background image. So for background image, you see that we can have a background image here, set the background image of an element. So we set background image. So if you set a background image, so you must now set the URL. You must now specify the URL. So you can do URL. You set the URL like that. So, and then we want to put now the code, so which we can load image from this external source, but we can uh, go to Pixabay, and just get any image here. So this is our external source. So I will show you how we can also load the same. We can do the same thing with our own image. For now, let's get this image. Remember, we can just do copy link, copy address link. Which one? Where is it again? Copy address link. And then we can go back to our VS Code and replace this one here. This is the link. So we can do the same thing with our own image. Since we don't have our own image, we want to just to show a demonstration here. And now we can set the background to cover. And then also we can we make sure that the background position is in center. So the image is in center. And then also we want to set the height. We can give the height, but we want to give the color. Remember, color is about the text. Background, we want to give the color to white. And we also want to set text. We want to align the text. So we have seen text, we can align it. Align it center or left or right, depend. So we want to add also the padding. We can add padding to 100 and also 20. So 100 is top and bottom, and left and right to 20. Sorry, top and bottom, and the right and the left. So we can also do height 100. We don't want to set height, but we can set a Z index. Z index is just how how you want to prioritize the element. So we want the element to be much, not really top, but stuck a little bit on top. So to Z index to 1. So we will see about this. We don't need to memorize everything right now, but we just keep going. And then overflow. We don't want to have overflow. So we don't want to have space. If you see here, what I mean here, we want the image to be in center here. First of all, this is the section I'm talking about is the hero section. So we want to have space top and bottom padding to 20. And then we want to make sure that the text is in the center. And then also the position is actually relative. Position is relative. That's why this one is stuck. Okay, so if we go back, this is what we have so far. And the overflow, we don't want to overflow. Overflow to harden. We don't want to see any overflow harden. So overflow is mostly usually become space. Become space here. The image becoming very big, and so you have to scroll one side. You don't want to see that. Okay, that's it. Okay, so for hero section, we are selecting hero class. So for some hero class before, can do hero class before. We want to set content to empty, and then position absolute, top 0, left 0, and then margin wide to full, and then height to full, background, and z index -1. So this is this section here. We are talking about this section. If I reload, you will see what we get. So this section I'm talking about, we are working on right now. So we are working on two things. One thing is the text. We are texting the text on top, and then also texting the one on the bottom. So we have an element on the bottom. So you have 3 elements here, 3 layers here. So you have the image, you have the the color. Let's see, let's take an example here. See, here we got three layers of things. So we got an image, which is the background, and then we go to the color, which color you see, the color you see here, and then we go to the top one, which is actually the text. So this is what we are doing here. For now, we don't want to get confused. Just some things, just go with it like that. So you don't want to get confused. So we can save that. Save this. Okay. We can save this, and we can also we need to add more section. Okay, but we will add that later. What we want to do, first of all, we want to target section. We will get back to z-index. Sorry, to hero section. But what we want to do, we want to target also section spacing. So we can target section spacing. Spacing. We got much to do, not a real much, but we just have to, we were just playing around there. Make sure that we target, first of all, select the element, and then resize them, style them, and then we can continue. So spacing, we can give to 60. Spacing top and bottom. So we want to have this space between sections. And then also we got, well, that's it for section. That's it for section. So we can save that for now and go back to our application here, try to reload. But okay, section, this is what I was talking about. So we are talking about this, the padding between elements, between sections. So we got section for about us, section for services, and section for contact. So we also got another section there. What something else we can work on it before continuing. This is we can also target the form, which we can just call it contact form. Contact form. So for that, we can target just the element, the HTML element. So we can do form. We target the form. So every form in our HTML. So we want to style it like this. It's the same thing if we select section. We talked about this in our previous video. So if select section, header, body. So yes, you are targeting everything within our HTML. So we are targeting everything. So we say okay, we say okay, form. We want to display. We want to make sure that display is flex. Display flex. So a little bit of explanation here. I say in combination with the float and position, determines the type of box or box size, boxes that are generated for an element. What we want to do, we want to we make sure that everything, all element or children within the form, within every form in our from our HTML, so displays equal to box is equal to flex. So we can that means that we have a kind of boxes. That's what I mean. And we have let's say flex direction to columns, and then also grabs we give to 20. We can give to 20 or we can give to 15. It just depend on your style, if you want, how you want to do it. So we can also set max wide. So max wide now, that's the wide of the box, of the whole container, of the whole element. And set the max wide to 600 pixel. and then also we can set the margin to auto. And so let the element position get the automatically let the element auto set the margin, the position inside. That's it. But if you target the form, this is just the form, the form element. But form now go to the children. Where is the form? This is the form. So the form got the children, which we got the input and the labels, and then also got the text area. So we can style this. First of all, I want to show you the current style. This is how it looks like. We haven't reload this page. If I reload it, you'll see now the how it looks like with the current style for the parent, which is the form. So we want to style the children. So to start the children, we're gonna go back here. So we want to target the form and then input. So if you want to add form input and a text area, you can do form input, or you can just do something like input. You can target all input and text areas. Text area, not text areas. So you can target now input plus text area. So this is how we do it. Just you type one element separated by comma. So you can add many. So you can add element plus selectors. Select also is a different type of input. So we are not seeing that now. We can see it later on. So we have a padding. We can add padding. Adding padding, for example, 10. So now this time we are adding padding for both sides. Not both sides, but all sides. All sides. The size, or let's say, sorry, I talk padding left, right, top, and the bottom. So if you want to target all of this, all sizes, you can just use 10. Sorry, I don't know that English if it's correct. So you can target 10. If you can target, you just do one. You just target one side. You put like this. So this will apply to the whole padding, the whole element. You can, if you want to target just left, put let's say for example 10 pixel for left, so you can put 0 and then 0 and then 0. So this will only apply to one side, which is left, because you start with left and then you go to top and then you go to the bottom and then you go to right. So here we want to target all side, the side left, right, top, and bottom. So we also want to add border. If you want, you can add borders. Borders is how you want to border solid, or you want to show the line. Border solid, or you don't want. So it depends. Or you can also just set border to 0 or border none. Doesn't matter. Border radius. So you want to be rounded a little bit. 5 pixels is fine. And font size to 16. Font size, so we talked about this, how size, how big you want to show how big you want the text to be, smaller, bigger, like that. Okay, this is for the inputs. If I save that, this is what we have currently, but if I reload, you'll see now this is the input we have here. We also want to add, you can see that we need at least to fix this. This is a section. So if you see, this is a whole section. It's a whole section, but so we need to separate the form and the main section. So we need to give some padding within the element, padding within the section. So we can go here. This is the one I'm talking about. So to handle that, we can wrap this. We can wrap this section, just copy or cut everything and wrap this in a div, add a div like this, and then we can give this one. Another way we can do the div, since we want to give a class of container, so we can just do dot and give a class name. Let's say, for example, class BD. So we will get a class of, we generate a div with a class of BD, or div class with class of container, like this container. There's a class, so we want to set this like this. So I can save that. Now back again to the browser and they reload. So this is what we get. But we don't want to do that since we already have a class. I think we already have a class there. Yeah, since this is within the this is within the main class, the main element. Where is the main element? This is the main element, and you can see that the main element we got ready. We got a class of container. So unless you want to remove this, you can remove this one and put it outside. So save it. So if you reload, we still getting the same thing. Okay, so we are going to start the button before add more stars. We can start the button first. This is the text area. We can try to start the button. This one, so we can do something like this. First of all, the text, if you want, this text is, if you want the text, let's see here. If you want the text to, or the element to, or the element to align from left, you can change it. Or if you want the element to be in the center or right, so it depends, the text also. So this depends how you want to show it, but we don't have to focus on that. We will get back to that later. We want to target first of all the button. So to target the button, we can do button. If you want to target the button, or you want to target the input, input with the type of submit. So if, what does that mean? What does that mean? So that means this one could be an input. You can make sure you can say this is input and the type of submit. So automatically this will become like a button. If I save that, nope. Just a second. Okay, so you can make sure to remove this one and change that. Volume is sorry, value is send. So you add the value to send is equal to send, and then also can add add maybe classes, some free stuff there. So if I reload, so we will still have the same thing. It's still showing it as a button. So there's two ways you can use this. You can use this one, or you can just set a button here. So if it's now this type of button, so we saw type of email, type of text, numbers, different types. So if if type is equal to submit, so that means this is going to be a button. And if you want to target now that here, you can do input with a type, with the type of submit. So you select it like this, and then you give it style. So if I save it, you go back and I reload. You see now we now have given the style to this one. But sometimes you just want to, we can keep that, but you also want to target like buttons. So all buttons, we give them this class. So button, every button within our HTML, we give it them, we give we give them this class, this style. So give it a background and the text color, white border, cursor pointer, position, background. So we give you all of this one. So if I save this and then go back, reload, since this is ready, got a style. So if you go back, change this, we can change this back to type of button. Yeah, button and reload, so we still get the same thing. If I reload, this is a button, but we can try to style it, add padding. Can add padding. So padding left, padding top and bottom and left and right, and then also border radius like that. So if you go back, reload, now we get the same thing. Okay, so for text area, if you want, you can style the text area. You can add row. It's since it's too small, you can go to text area. Let's say row. You can add row. Rows. Let's say for example 5. If I add row 5, so you'll see the size you'll get here. Now this is the size. So if you add 10, you'll get a bigger one. Say 10. This is the row 10. So if you add also, can also add columns 30. Column 30. So this is what we get in here. So you can type in here. So that means you can also resize it. Yeah, you can resize it that way. You can also remove resize if you don't want to resize it. Okay, so we want to set to 5. So we also want to talk about the placeholders. So input got a placeholder. So placeholder is just to show a user what is supposed to be put in there. So you can say, for example, placeholder, say John Doe, and then a placeholder here. Let's say example is something like that, or you can say something, for example, right. So we can maybe say something, for example, type your email, and for this one too, we can do placeholder, type your message. So if you go back, reload, is actually there already. So it's there. Okay, so this is it for input. For placeholders, for footer also you can okay, this is it for this guy here. So if you want to resize this one, you can actually resize that, or you can put the content in the center. So I can go to I can show you how you can do another style, because you have seen the same thing. More it's so about the line, you can do HR. So this will give a space between. Now we have this space here, but if you see the space like it started from one side, so you can also target that. So you can do HR. You can also give it border and the height to 1, and then margin right and margin right and left. So if I save that or reload, and into reload, is what we get. Yeah, we can reload that. Let's see, HR. Okay. So we can also try to make sure that is in center. Let's say, okay. But what else do you need to add here? First of all, but what we can do, or instead, what I want to do, we keep the style. But what I want to do here is a contact container. You can add contact container. So we now start this one. Uh, so you can now go and target the contact container. Mm. So you can target the contact container. So you can go to, this is the class. So now we want to deal with a multiple class within the element from a single element. So we can do say contact container or contact section. So so if I want to target that class, I can do contact container. Then display flex direction column, and then align text align item to center, and then we also give the caps is just the space. If I go back and then reload, this is the one, but now you see how small it is now. So it just depend if you want to have a flex a item center, how you want to handle it. So this depend. I'm just showing you a different way you can handle. So at least you see the contact now, the item is in center. But if you don't want to that space, you can also, if you want to resize this one, let's say you can set here wide to full, or remove this class here. If you reload that, did you save that? Yes, you can remove the class and save it. So it doesn't matter. So it depends. But if you don't want to, first of all, flexbox, you see how it makes the element. So if you want to have it flex, display flex, you can do that like that. Or if you just want to keep like this and reload, I see we should have the same thing, but you can also say that item center or text center. So depend if you want to set, for example, you want to just the text in center, even this one. So if you want to target that, I want to show you example. If you want to target that, so you can target. If you want to target, there's no image, so you want to target just H2, H2, and paragraph. We don't have image, so we can ignore this one. Text center. So we want to target. We want to select contact container and H2 heading 2 plus paragraph, and we give them. We want to make sure that the text going in center here. So if I reload this, the text now in center. So we do the same thing, but it's just different way. Yeah, we are doing it. So just depend. We can also set the background. Let's say we can just the container can set background color. Let's say background color to this color here. If you save that, reload. Now this is the background color. But you see this because you got a container. So if you don't want to have that, you can remove container like this. So if you reload, now this one is full. So that means you can just add some spaces. You can go back and add space. So I don't like that color for this. You can add just light gray like this. And you can also add padding. Can add padding, let's say 30 pixel. So 30 pixel, sorry, 30 pixel and zero, just like that. So if you reload, okay, now we get padding top and bottom, but it's zero on the left. So we can add even more padding if you want. So we can have this color. So for footer, you want to see also footer. Do we have footer here yet? Nope. So we can also target the footer. We can do footer, target the footer here. So we can do footer. So just target the footer. So this means that every footer every element with every tag footer within our HTML. So we'll have this class, this style here. So we set the background and then color and text center. So if I save that, sorry, and reload. So this is now our footer here. So sometimes you don't want to just space here, so you can just you can say, for example, this one, where is it here? Can set height to 100%. 100% to fill the space. Let's see. But if you also got a space, if there's an element which fill the space between these two, maybe. Oh, we got container, so that's why. Because container, if unless you remove the container like this and reload, you see the same thing. So that doesn't matter. We will work on that. We can keep the container. We will work on that. So we will make sure that this fills the remaining space. What else? We got a couple of things to complete here, to achieve here. All right. So what else? So we need to check. We can work on a nav menu. We can work on nav menu first. If you see it doesn't look nicer, we can work on nav menu. This one. So we want nav menu. If you see the original website, so we got a logo. This is a flex. So this is a flex. First of all, the main container is flex, which is justify between. So space is one container which hold this one, this the logo plus name, and another container which hold the navigation menu. So that's the flex justify between. So we've got much space, but within for the nav menu is also flex. So display is flex. So we got the horizontal display, and if you go to small screen, now everything is this way. So we will fix it. Everything is going. Everything is column or display block. So what we want to do, we want to go and work on this. All right, guys. So before continuing, let's just review what you have seen so far. Right. So you can start with our application from the browser. Okay, so far we see we have set the header, we have set the hero section. The image is not loading. We will add that. We will add our local image. We set also different section, which is including about us and service section and contact section. So we have seen how to style the form, input, set the placeholders, and then also to set our footer. So this is what I've seen so far, but I also is some resource I also want to show you for you to actually go and find much more about the CSS. So you can go to Mozilla as HTML, CSS, Mozilla, this one, Mozilla. So okay, this is the one. Sorry, let's see. Yes, this one here. Okay, so this you can find much more about the CSS here. So you can also search for trick CSS. This one, CSS tricks. This one. So here also you can get much more about the CSS. So it can help you speed up stuff. For example, you can learn things like flex, display the flex, the grid. All of this you can learn about all of this one here. So these are just some resources can help you do better than what we are doing right now here. Okay, so now we can continue. But before that, I got my images here. So uh, can I close this one? So I have my images. I have some images. You can use any images. So we can go to our application. First of all, this is our application from my computer. So I can open it. Now from our application, we see that we got our index.html and we also got our asset folder and image folder. So we got nothing in there. So I want to paste this content, this image here. So I got some images here. So just image 1, 2 up to the logo. So if I open this, you see that we just the logo. But I also got much more images. So don't worry about that. We will. You can still add any image you want. It doesn't matter. All right. So next we want to now go and set up, work on the header first. So to make sure that everything is perfect from our header section. All right. So back to our VS Code. For header section, we want to look where is it. So this is the header. You can see we only have this one here. If we go back to our index of HTML, so this is the header. This is what we are talking about. This section here, header section here. So we want to style this. So we want to have, want to make sure that everything it's appear like this one. So you can see that we have one section here and one here. So this is this one we call it justify between. So we call it match space between. So to achieve that, we need to get this header section class, and we can go back here and do dot header section. So we want to do display flex. So if you go back to Mozilla, if you say CSS display flex, but we want to go to Mozilla. So Mozilla you can get much details there. So flex, so here you can go and you read much about this. So display flex. So here is just where you can actually learn much about, so that we don't have to spend much time just explaining everything. Yeah? So you can also get time to learn about some stuff. So we want to do display flex, and justify content. So we want to do a space between. So we want to get much space between. So we also want to do align content center. So that's good. And we can set you can set white, but it's okay. So we can also target header section. a header container, and then we target h1. So remember what we talked about before, h1, and you can set the font size, you can set the margin, and so just depend on how you want to do it. But for now, just keep it simple as that. So you can also target the nav menu. So nav menu is now, so this is the header section. This we see in here, but now we want to target this one, this child. So now a header section, and then target now the child, and then we also make sure that everything is actually flex. So we make sure it's flex, and flex cabs 20, but that's okay. But if you also want to, we can also target, for example, nav menu and the target. So there's many you can target. So for example, if you look at here, we got nav menu, and then we got also list. Remember about the list, ordered list. So we want to can do uh, nav menu, and want to do dot nav menu, and sorry, not and an ordered list, that one. So we want to make sure that list style bold known. So list style bold, I want to show you what is that, what I mean. So this dot dot, we don't want to show this one. We want to remove that, and then display flex. We also want to use flex, and then we want to do caps 20 pixel. So you can save that, but we also have, because we got logo. um but before that, even logo, we can take header container and nav menu, and then list, sorry, an ordered list, but target now the all children. Target now the children, sorry. And for children, we make sure that display is inline. So if I save that, I'm not going to reload yet, but I want to target logo, class of logo. Just a class of logo. So I'm just going to select this start here. So class of logo. Um, First of all, recapture a little bit what we talk. What I talked, what we talked about is nav menu, an ordered list, and list. This is the one we're talking about. But we can also target the anchor tag. But before that, we are talking about now the logo. So the logo here, we take logo. So class of logo, we give it wide to 50 pixel, wide to 50 pixel, height 50 pixel, and border radius 50%. So that makes it a circle. So border radius you can also get from Mozilla. So if you go to Mozilla here, you can search for border radius here. So you also get this about border radius, and flex, container center, alignment, and text center. So I can save that. But we have before, this is for the image, for the logo, but you can see that we have a logo container. This is the logo container. So you can take the logo container. So this means could be here. Save that. I put it here. So the logo container display is equal to flex item align center. But if you have already put that here, we can remove this. Let's remove this one and this. So if you want, you can set the background here and background here, but because you have already we removed the background, so it doesn't matter. So I can just save this one and go back to our browser and reload. So this is what we have so far, but if I reload, you see the change. Now this is the change. That's automatical. Now we got the logo here and the menu here. But you see this one, the color is blue. This is a default color for anchor tag. So what we can do is go back here, and we can target now, target again. You see, we can target the header header container, nav menu, another list, and the target now the anchor tag, text decoration to no. We don't want to see the text decoration underline, and we text color to white and font size to 18. And transition, we also set transition to is. But you can check for about this most of this trick, CSS trick from Mozilla, so you will learn much about it there. But we also want to set hover. We talked about hover in our previous video. So is one hover, we can set the color to gray something. Yeah? So if I save this and back to our browser, this is what we have. But if I reload, now this is white. If hover, you see the color we are getting here. All right, so this is it for our header section. We can add much more if you want to add. So next we are going to work on this hero section. All right. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and make sure also to like the video. All right. So next we want to work on we want to show our image here. We want to show this image and also show service here. So first of all, let's start with the image. So I can go to let's see where is that image. This is the hero section. So we want to target this one, hero section. We have already targeted that one ready. Yes, it's here. So the only thing here is to load the image. So since we got image ready, so here in my asset, so make sure that you placed your asset within the main folder, and inside the assets. So we got the CSS, and then we got also image. So image, you can see that I got my image here. So I can open this image here. You can see that the logo is here, and I can use this first image, this one here. So what I can do is I can go here. If I do type dot / you'll see that okay, we get the image. It can show me everything within this directory. So current directory, this is the one, the assets. So we have a folder called images. So I can access now the folder images folder in that level. So I can now select now this image. So I can get now this image here, which is image one. So if I save that, we go back to the browser, reload. Now we got image here. So we can select any image there. So we have image one, I can put image two. So this is just the names. I put this name so because I don't want to have too much names to type there. So image two is not loading. Image two is actually JPEG. So JPEG. That's the image two. If I go and reload, that's the image two. So you can put any image there. It's fine. All right. Okay, that is it for image. Can I reload? Put back the one there. We can skip about us for now and go to service section. So this is the service section. So you can get this title here, and also go back to our application, and this is the one we are talking about. Okay, so if you save that, this is now the service section. So for the service section, we got a couple of things to do here. For service section, First of all, we have an ID of service. So I want to show you, we have seen how to select or to use a class name to select a class. But what about selecting or use an ID? So to select an ID, we can do hash and you select like this. So hash and pass the ID name. So select, this is the one. Select now the service. So here I select the services. So we can now give some styles the way you want to style it. But since we don't have much to style, we can just show you. We can give, let's say, background. This is the background because I just wanted to show you how we can select the sub. We can select and start an element using the idea. So another thing I can tell you that once you select an element using ID, so and you have already selected or you have already styled the same element using CSS using class name. So the one if you use ID, it should always come on top of the class. So just be aware of that. So if I go back, you reload, this is that section. So see now we use the class to select this one. But we don't want to set that. We can comment this one, or we can just comment the whole thing, because we don't want to add that one. So we want to, we actually want to, I'm seeing how we want to go do we want to do grids. We want to do display. Where is it? This is the one service. So we don't need this one. Instead of that, we just want to create a div. So a div with the class of service grid. That's grid. Get this one, service grid. We don't have this is the class. So service grid. So inside here, this is now where you are going to place now all this. We are going to place the children here. This element we are going to place them here. So what we want to place in here is okay. I can add some comment here. So say each service card has an image. So each service card got an image and got an image, title, description, and button. So this is what we're going to have here. So what we are going to have another class of service card. So we create this class here, service card. And for service card, so we are going to, okay, we can select this way. So let's say, for example, we want to access our folder again, access the level, go to the level, asset level folder, and then go to images folder. So we want to use, let's say, for example, image 8, the H1. For title here, let's say title, we can give it something, for example, network network solution, kind of network solution. So for alternative here, I can also give network solution, like that. Okay, so this is it. If I this is only one card, but we need to repeat. I don't know, maybe 6 of them. If we go to this one, we got how many? We got 6 of them, so I need to repeat like 6 of them. So what I want to show you here is few things I want to show you. First of all, notice the many container, which is grid, class of grid, and the child, which is a class of card. So this is the one I want to repeat because I want to have 6 of this one. But first of all, with one more thing we need to talk about is the button. So the button we need to add anytime you create a button element, so you must add the attribute. So the attribute type is equal to button for this one, and we can add class. You can add many of here. You can add class. You can add many stuff here, but this is the one required. Not really required, but you must put it. If you don't put it, it might show you some warning errors. All right, so I get this card, so I want to repeat another one. Can repeat maybe, so you can, maybe if you are using AI can repeat this one, maybe like 6 of them, so just save you time. This will save you time. Yes, how many so far? So we can see how many we got so far. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5 and 6 and 6. So that means this is going to be 7. We will fix that. We don't need 7. We will only need 6 of them. All right. So if I go back and reload. This is what we get now here. So now we just need to reset to fix this one. You can see that this is repeating the same thing. Images, they are loading images even if it's not there. All right, let's go and do this. All right, so next we need now to start styling our grid. But before that, we can also add a global style here for image. Style image. By default, we can set image max wide to 100% and height to auto display block. So this is just to make sure that the image is follow the size, the size of the browser doesn't overtake the browser size. So we can also target the anchor link, anchor tag. So we can also set so what I was telling you, you see, you can go to here, you can open browser. You can actually open a Mozilla. You see this, open your Mozilla. And if you go to Mozilla, you see text decoration, all of this about the anchor tag. Yeah. So it got match here. You can actually go and explore match from there. Okay, so now we can save this. If I go back to our browser, let's try to reload again. Yes, this is what we have. So our image is not that oversizing, but we still need to style them a little bit. Okay, so you can now go back. We need now to create yes, here. If you go back here, service, so we can take this one, service grid. You can take services grid. So we can select this service grid, this one. So we want to now to make sure display is grid, display equal to grid. So you can also see this. If you hover like this, you go to open Mozilla. Here you'll be able to read about grid. So block, display inline block, display none. So this is this we can actually play around with this one. So what we do here, I say okay, display grid. Um, display grid, and we so we want to set grid template columns, and then repeat autofill. So we want to but we don't want to autofill. Instead we want to autofit. So we want the element, the children, to fit in the remaining place. And then also minimax. We want to set now the height, the minimax, and the size of a box of a card. So I'm talking about this one, this card. Yes, I'm talking about this. So this is the grid. This is the main container. So we want the children there. We want the children to autofill, auto fit, so they can fit the remaining space. And the every child could be maximum minimum max. Minimax could be minimax actually is 300 pixel and fraction. So this is just going to repeat do the math to make sure that you fill the remaining space with the same size. And so we can also do the caps. Caps the space. We can set caps to 30 pixel, and then we can do margin top. Margin top we can maybe set to 30 pixel too. Yes, like that. And we don't need padding. Don't need padding for that. So for grid card, we can take grid card. So if you take now the grid services and grid card. So for grid card, we these are generated by AI, but I can still explain to you this the rest one. So we can take a grid card, grid services, and we select the card with a child, and then set the background to white and the border register to 10 pixel and padding to 20. So that's padding for top and bottom, right and left. And also we use now a border shadow, so a box shadow. So we can also read the about. You can also see much explanation about border about box shadow here. So this is it, the box shadow. So we can play around with this one. Okay, so for box shadow, um, if you let's open it again. Something I want to show you just a little bit because we are learning, so we need to learn everything there. So this is a box shadow. We can take, for example, red, red, red. Sorry. Okay, this is first of all what I want to see here. Yes, this is it. I want to show you border shadow, but mostly about the color. I wanted to show you about the color. So color your settings. You are setting. You can see the result here. So I don't want to explain you that. You can stay there. You can play around there, but you can also see what the result here, that you can just even select the color. We don't need to spend the time there looking for which color you want to use. You can just drag the cursor on any color here, so you'll be able to select color. So you don't need this. This is not a big matter. There's also another trick, say CSS, CSS shadow. It's a shadow. shadow generator, kind of shadow generator. So there's many shadow generator. You can actually go. There's many online. You can actually go in the generator. So you generate some. So it's normal. There's many. So we don't need to waste time there. Okay. So and then the next one we just first of all text is center, text align center, and then service grid, services grid, and then target now the child, which is a service grid, service card, and target the image. We set the height of image, but we what we can do is we can set to 100%, wide to 100% because we want to make sure it's full. 100%, 100%, and also we want to set the height to maybe 180, 180%, 180 pixels, sorry, and then object cover or object fit. You can set object fit or cover, and box radius. Sorry, border radius to 10 pixel. We don't want to round it. We want to set 10 pixel, and margin bottom to 15 pixel maybe. So this the rest you can keep going with the rest, or you can just stop there. Okay. Another thing is we can also create. We can do something. For example, select. Why we don't use? We meant to ask why you don't use we don't use the ID to select here, because once if you use ID, so that means that we are just going to target the same one element. So the ID only target one element. That's another thing for the ID. But if it's a class, you can actually select, or you reuse that class for across the whole page, or the whole HTML. So, for example, I can create a class here called Lanmo BTN. So this is a class. So I can reuse this class all over. All over there's a button, so I can just reuse the same class. But if it was a button, if it was an ID, so you cannot reuse that. You can only use it for one element. That's one point. Okay, so you can set I set the background color and also text color, border, none. Text decoration, can do text decoration to none, and then display block. Display inline block. What else? Some things you don't need here. Some stuff. Transition, that's fine. So I can take learn more BTN, this class here. So I'll go back to the BTN. All of these buttons, you can see the button here. So I can give a class of text BTN or learn more BTN. So I just copy this class. This is now what I was telling you. So if it's an ID, you cannot reuse it. So if it's a class, I can copy the same class. So because I want to do all buttons to appear to look the same, especially the button within this card. So I can add this button here and also here and here. And also here. And here. So if I save that, I go back to our application, I reload. Now this is what we get. So we got now the cards. So this is the card you have, and this is the card what do you call that, the image, the shadow, you can see there, but at least you can see that is good, but it looks which got much than expected. So we're supposed to have 6, but here we have like 8 of them. So we can remove some. The last one, yes, let's try to remove the last one, the last element, because repeating twice. Let's see what we get here. Reload again. Which one is repeating twice again? Software development and web development, IT consulting, security, data analysis. We can also just remove the following one too. So it's fine, doesn't matter which one. Okay, so if you load now, you have 6. You only have 6 of them. Right, so this is it for the grid. But if you want, you can also make sure the grid, you can add a little bit space. You can no, sorry, add the shadow. You can add shadow. So the shadow we got left, top, and bottom. But let's add a little bit. I just want to add this color a little bit. The shadow, increase color. You see, this one is not really visible, but if you want, you can add. Now it's a bit visible. Okay. So this is it for the grid. Next, we can just study a little bit about us. All right, let's go and do that. Okay, so for about us, to do about us, we can go to our original application. So I can just copy this content, copy this, and back to our HTML. Have contact us and about us. This is about us. So I can replace this here. So if I save that and I go back, reload, this is what we have. But we want to make sure that the text is not center. So that means about section. So for this, we can actually use the ID. Since we haven't used the ID for a long time, you can use ID, and we can set the background. We can also take about and H1 text align. Let's say left, and margin left. We can do about the paragraph text align left. So if you reload, everything start from left, but we don't want the background. Actually, we don't want this. Since we don't want that, we can just get rid of this one and reload. So we still have the same content, but if we want to match space, we want to make sure that let's say 60. So this is what we have here. Okay. Another thing is if you see text, so we didn't see this text and this one is a bit, the line that are too close each other. So to handle that, we can go back here. So we can do just a second. So we can actually target the lines. We can do main body here. So we can do lines height. So let's say, for example, 1.6. That's just to get the lines between this one. Yeah, now you see it's not that close to each other again. So we get space because before it was very close to each other, so it makes it hard to read. Yeah. Okay. Think this is it so far. If you scroll, if for example, if you are home, this is still home, and about, this will scroll to about, and service, this will scroll back to service. Why this scrolling to service, you can see here. So that's a way to auto target to scroll. If you go back to the menu, you see we are giving the ID home, about, service is. So this also, we didn't talk about this, but these are important. Uh, if you want to scroll to that section, so just give it the ID and we target that section. So once you click, it will scroll to the section very quick. And then also you see that it's a bit smooth. If you scroll a bit smooth. So there is something is missing there. We haven't added that yet. Is a couple of things here we need to see. Is if you scroll, you see the animation of this one. So for this one, we need to use JavaScript, but there's a free JavaScript you can use. So we can also integrate a bit of JavaScript to application. But so far we have completed almost everything. Another thing is remaining here is responsive. This is our original application. You see how responsive it is for small screen. So for us to handle this responsive, so we want to also do the major query. Ours, if you go to small screen, this is what we get. It's our current application. It's the small screen. So how are we going to do that? It's for small screen. You see, for grid is actually is already working for small screen, but the rest of the things we need to fix them. Just few of them you need to fix them. For example, the footer is okay, the contact form is okay. Right, let's go and work on the major query before integrating our JavaScript for the animation. All right. All right, so to integrate the major query, so major query is actually what will help to target for our website to be responsive. So to target different type of screens. So to do that, we can scroll down from our CSS. We can scroll down. You can say major query, automatically see AI suggesting us, but since we want to target, we want to write. So I want to write. So it's a major query. Major query for, say, tablets and mobile. So we can do, to create major query, you just do at major, and then now put to the screen. So at major, and then parentheses, and we put max, since we want to target max screen, max wide, max wide. If wide is equal to 768 pixel, so that means that everything is smaller than this. So this is what we are targeting. Everything is smaller than this. Okay. So everything is smaller than this. So we open curly bracket. I can remove this one. We open curly bracket and we add now a few things. First of all, we want to target the nav menu. So nav URL, and we have to make sure that flex direction is a column. So the URL is this one.
this one. So we don't want them. If you go to our original application, this is our application. So you see, we don't want them to appear like this. And this one, you see here, this is what we want to see. So we don't want them to be like this. So we can do if it's that small. So we want to make sure it's not flex direction, it's not flex anymore. Flex is not flex anymore, but it's column. So that means it's going down instead of going one side in line. Next is we can also take hero. Hero can take hero padding, and then you can set maybe to 60 and something like 10. So hero is actually this one. Hero section is this one. Yeah, this is a hero section. And what else? We can also target the form. So form form wide is equal to, you can say wide, you can set wide to 100%. Because form up here, form, this is form. You can see the max wide we are setting for form. But down here, we can set make the max wide to still to 100%. Okay, max wide, you can say max wide to 100%. So if you save that, you get this. So we don't even need this one. But if you set also 100%, still the same thing. Okay. What else do you need? Now, if we go back to this application, if I reload, now this is what we get. Now you see this is a column, but we also want the main container to also be column. So that's the header container. So remember about header container is the one holding everything here. Header container, this is the one, this one. This is the one actually holding the menu, everything here. So we need to do that. We can go down here, do header container. We can also set it display to column. So if I reload, now this is what we have. So if you don't want to just want to be like this, but we can also add caps. You can maybe add caps, say caps to 10. So this will give some space like that. But if you want much more, you can add. So if I add, for example, caps to 30 and reload, you see that we get much space. So it just depends on how you want to do it. It's like this is fine. So if you want to just want to be is also in line, you can set in line, but I find this fine, but I'm not sure what do you think. This is just practicing our CSS skills. Okay, logo container, we can also target logo container. This is the one, logo container. So this is the one containing logo plus our business. So we can create simple business, or we can just add SMS software. And here we can change to SMS software if you want. We can actually do Control Shift L to edit all of them to change to SMS software. SMS software like that. So if I save that, we go back to online. We have this is the name. So we want to target the logo container. This one, logo container. So to target that, you can go to this is the one. So you can get this, take this one, and go back to here. You target logo container, and you want to give it some style. You can also say column and center. If I reload, you get the same thing, but I don't like that. So I like that style. I like the way it was before. So that's also depend on the screen size. So what you meant to do is you can take the logo. This is the logo. You can maybe resize it. So it depends on how you want to do it. But for now, we just keep it everything simple as that. Okay, so if I click, you still get the same thing. Another thing is container. If you want, you can resize the container. You can also resize the text, all of that. You can do so much things. You can resize the text. So let's see the text. You can resize the text. You can let's see. You want to see where is the text. So we got grid. You can fix almost everything there. But for now, I think it's just fine for now like this because we have to save time. Or what we can check is this one. Is loading smooth. If I scroll a little bit, if I want to show you this one, so we need to just work on this JavaScript. It's not really JavaScript, but it's just a little bit. All right, let's go and do that. All right, guys. So to integrate the scroll animation, so we can integrate some library here, JavaScript library and CSS. So we can go to our browser, search for iOS animation. So iOS animation unpack CDN. So this is the official. This is the official website. We can get to the. We can see here. You can integrate to the library or CSS. Got CSS. So this can copy this. And we also want to talk about something here. Right now, what about loading an external CSS, loading the CSS from a different website or different server? So we can use the same thing here. Where you see that we use the link, it's the same thing, a reference. We just load this URL here and it's a start sheet. All right, and so this is for the CSS. So we linked in the head of our HTML template. What about the JavaScript? So JavaScript can load it. Can load JavaScript after our browser, after our body tag was ready loaded. So we can load JavaScript. Here is an example of loading our local JavaScript. So since we don't have it, so we can go back to our application, go back to our main folder. So the structure for our content, you see this is what we have in here. So we can create another folder here called JS. So make sure that this folder is inside. Move it inside of asset. We can also create another folder called CSS in here. So we can move make sure that you move this. Nope. Make sure to move it inside here to asset. Make sure that it's inside the asset. Yes, the folder is inside the asset. So our CSS, instead to have it here, we can move it to CSS folder. So now our folders are organized. So we have CSS, we got image and JavaScript. So now we must make change. We must update this one here, since now our CSS, the file now is inside our subfolder. We can just put here subfolder like that. So that means remove this one. So okay, now our style is loading from that subfolder. So if you go back, reload, but we will get an error because you need to create a script file. So you can create script. That's for the JavaScript. Script.js, script.js, which we are also loading here. If you go scroll down a little bit, so you see that we need to load asset and then js folder and script.js. So if you save this, we go back to our browser, we load. Now everything's still loading there, but image is not loading. Guess what? Because we didn't update the URL. So we need to go to CSS here. Here we need to change this to add we need to update here. So let me show you. So we can do, and then access now CSS. Nope. We need to access the image. Yeah? That's what we mean. Now access image, and that was image one. So if you save that, okay, now load the image. Because before we had dot one, now we just add another dot to make sure now we have to go to level 2 to get the to access the image. All right. So for the JavaScript, I want to show you, if I just do alert and I save that, you go back to our application. If you load, you see that alert. If I say hello world and the console.log, so this course is not about JavaScript. The JavaScript is the next video. Hit the subscribe button to get the notification about the JavaScript course for beginners, crash course for beginners. Right. So if I go also to developer mode, we see we also got hello from hello console. All right. So what we want to load is actually this JavaScript. So we saw how we can load the JavaScript within our HTML. So we can comment this. We don't need all of this. So here we can load also unpacked the same thing. Yeah. So we can load this one. So for after loading that, so we need now to initiate this. So how do we initiate that? There's documentation, but there's not really much to do. So what we can do is let's say, yeah. So the one thing we can do is we create also another script. So this we create script, and if you want, we can remove this one, put to load right after this, and insert this in there, in this one here. But for simplicity, I just want to show you, we just want to do it from here. So we want to now load the duration. We want to now insert the animation, iOS in animation. So if I save that, we want to see if we got any error. Try to reload. Okay, we don't have any error. So we want to see if we are loading the JavaScript. We can see that we are loading the JavaScript, and also we are loading the CSS. So the JavaScript for iOS, and then we are also loading the CSS for the same library, this one here. All right. So next we want to now to use it. So there's documentation to use it, but we don't really want to. There's no real much to do. If you see to use it, you can just do data iOS and then set the fade. So I want to show you the scroll animation here. So what we can do is go back to our application. So how are we going to use that? So we're just going to do our card. Where is the card? So these are the card. These are the card for the service. So we want to add data. We can do data fed up like this. Data fed up, and then also we can do animation duration to 10 like this. So we want to repeat this for all of them. 1000 or one here is 1000, but here we don't need to. If you are setting that, you don't need to do this. So you just remove this one, leave it the way it is. If you want to do that, yes, but if you don't want to, you can actually do one by every single card you repeat all of them. So I can do trying to see the cards, where the cards start from. Okay, this is the first one. So copy this one. We want to repeat for all of them. This is one way to do it, but you could have also just target I target the element and append the JavaScript. But let's do it just the simple way, because this course is not about JavaScript. It's about HTML. So we can also add here the same thing, and here and here. Yeah, is something we can see from the first one. Yeah, is actually correct. So if you go back, it's our application, we reload, you want to see error. The image 4 is not loading. IMG4 is not loading. Why is at you can search for image 4. This is not loading. So to do that, to fix that, you can try to do IMG4 is not there, but you can use maybe something like this one 9 and try to reload again to see the errors. So anything, if it's anything wrong, you'll see it here. Okay, we don't have any error, and everything is clear is good to go. So if you scroll down, now we have the animation. We got error, so we have compromised one of the thing. We corrected it, but you can see that the animation is there. So let's work on here. You can see this what I'm talking about. Okay, the first one. See the first card. First card. Oh, it's here. Okay, let's try that. So the card looks like we got more cards than well, what we're supposed to have. I think the first one we got IT. Got IT. Up. The first one. Let's remove the first one. Okay. Now go back and reload. Yes. So the first one got the one issue, but if you can add a different card right after after this one. Let's generate another card. Yeah, like that. Image, can check which image can you get there. Let's try woman something and they reload. Now we've got four cards. All right, so the animation is there and the form is there. All right. All right, guys. So thank you again for being here. We have just completed our project. So we managed to build a full website using HTML and plain CSS. So next we are going to start building also, start our crash course, JavaScript crash course, of course. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And before our JavaScript crash course, we want to deploy this application, this website. This is actually the website we have just built, and this was our original website. So we want to deploy this to a live server. So we can deploy, you can start with the cPanel and also try GitHub, and then also deploy to a popular cloud like Azure or GCP, Google Cloud, all of that. All right. My name is Shaban Musamba. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and see you in the next video. Thanks.